Hello, everybody. It's Friday. It's nearly the end of the day. My voice is going. I apologise for that before we even start. And I've already apologised to the wonderful Carolyn for all of this. I'm really sorry. I'm going to try and make it through. We're going to hear lots about you, hopefully. Before that, we're going to watch this video. Carolyn, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. So my cat's whisker is like literally like.
Look at that! That is so cool. For anyone watching this on Spotify, as you're driving, that was a cat's whisker coming over Carolyn's screen.
He just wants to be part of the show.
Do you know what? I did an interview a little while back. It was actually, it's not a music one, it was a health and safety one. And the couple that were on talking about health and safety, suddenly this cat jumped right in front of them on the screen. They went up in the air, we went up in the air, and then it insisted on sort of like climbing over everyone's shoulders. So who knows, in a minute your cat might do that as well.
You probably will. I wouldn't be surprised.
Now you win the prize, Carolyn, for the tidiest bedroom ever on My Music. That's amazingly tidy. Yeah. She says, actually, if you pan the camera around, it's all untidy at this end. For no,
I do have a pink disco ball. I'm just noticing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's for a future photo shoot for a single.
Okay.
So there's a hint there.
Was that a recent purchase?
It was. I got it on Amazon.
Mm.
For pretty cheap. It was a pretty good deal.
Do you know what? Isn't that a cool thing? Oh, look, the cat's whiskers are coming back in.
I know. I'm going to move him.
It's so fun. Yeah, that's cool. It's amazing what you can order on Amazon, isn't it? You can order just about anything. You just sat there one night and went, I need a purple disco ball.
Oh yeah, one of my best friends is a photographer, and pretty much like every photo that I've posted like over the past year, she has taken. And so we were kind of talking about visuals for this next single that I'm going to put out, and I just kind of had like an idea of it being kind of like space, like sparkly disco, like kind of like that. And then she's just so creative. She sent me the links for everything. She's like, oh, we could do this, we could do that. And
does she like storyboard it, or do you like Pinterest it sort of thing? I mean,
pretty much, yeah. I just get like I love the visual side of creating as well, because like I'm such an emotionally driven person and creative that like I love when the visual side of sorry, I'm gonna have to come here. Okay, he just wants to make an appearance. I love when the visual side like matches the song and the music. And I have so many different songs that like kind of cover a lot of different emotions that like they're so different from each other. So I love when like the visual side is like different from each other.
Have you always loved that about artists that you've liked as well?
Yes, I have, because when other like artists and bands kind of like go through different phases and their music just like continues to grow, they kind of evolve visually as well. And so I've always found that really interesting.
Yeah. Best pop video of all time for you then?
The first like video that comes to mind for me is like the Give Me Love video by Ed Sheeran. I think that's one of my favorite music videos. I just remember seeing it and I was so like intrigued by it. I'll
Yeah.
have to like rewatch it again because it's been so long since I've seen it. But like, um, I just remember Ed Sheeran being one of my like first influences to like really start getting into music, and so I just kind of I loved I loved how he kind of did like the math the math eras
Yeah.
with
The
his,
the math sequence of albums.
yeah.
I don't, strangely, actually, I've seen a couple of things that literally popped up on my feed earlier this morning, and it was like Ed being interviewed about his new album, and people, and the title was, "Why did you call your latest album Subtract?" Well, for a start, do
Take
you
a
know what I
guess.
mean? What a stupid damn question is that, right? We've had this, and this. Oh, what's left? Oh, subtract. You know, but
You
I
can
guess
definitely leave that
there's the
out.
element. I guess there's the element of it is about loss.
Mhm.
The album. Have you heard the latest Ed Sheeran?
I've heard like little snippets here and
Bits of it.
there. Yeah. I personally am just such a huge fan of his first album and his second album. I'm just like super attached to those the most. So
Have you ever seen Ed live?
I saw him open for Taylor Swift back
Oh,
in like when was it? Probably like 2012,
yeah,
I think.
cool.
And it was just him by himself with the loop pedal, and I think that is like the moment where I was like, I want to start learning how to play guitar. Just seeing
Really,
him be
that
able
was
to do it all by himself and be as good of a writer as he is, that was really inspiring. So I picked up guitar not too long after that.
right. So, how old were you then?
I was 11.
11.
Yes, I got a guitar of my own for my 11th birthday. It was like a smaller version of an acoustic guitar because I was very tiny. And so like a regular size one would have just swallowed me whole. So I had like a little acoustic guitar, and I played for about 6 months, and then I thought to myself, well, I want to do more than just play guitar. Like I want to try to write a song. And so
That's important. That's important. I mean, when just going back a little bit in the conversation, when we were talking about videos a
mhm.
minute ago and really visual videos, have you ever seen Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel?
I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, that's one for you to check out, right? I always like to leave someone with a little bit of, because I go back a little bit longer than you,
Yes.
right? Yeah, yeah. Don't say it like that, but yes, I do. Um,
Oh my
uh,
god.
so yeah, but yeah, I was born in 1971, and so yeah, Sledgehammer, probably one of the best ever music videos. Um, and the other thing that kind of reminded me of that as well is because that was covered by Harry Styles.
Oh, right.
Yeah, to bring it up back into your time.
Full circle. Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, check that one out and
Oh,
see
I will.
think of it when you have. Um, that's only between me and you though. Don't tell anybody else on this platform. Whatever. What was it though, other than Ed Sheeran, that got you into music?
I was always a really creative kid growing up. I was really shy, but I always loved to write. Like I remember when I was like 6 years old, I wrote little like short stories. Like it wasn't songwriting yet or anything, but I knew that I loved to create, and I started out kind of like writing just by writing little short stories about probably about like me playing soccer with my friends or like, my cat or whatever, like just really just innocent childlike things because that's what I was going through at the time. And so I would write a little bit about that, and I remember people would ask me like, "What well, do you want to be like an author when you grow up?" And I was like, "No, I don't want to write like long books and like I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do or what I was interested in. And then I always liked to sing, but I was very scared to sing in front of people. I would pretty much just only sing by myself, like in my room, making sure that the door was closed and that like nobody could hear me. I was always really, really scared that somebody would hear me, but I knew I liked to do it. And I just kind of like kept that to myself for a while. So I always like knew that I loved music, and I was a really competitive soccer player. Growing up, and I would listen to so much music like back and forth on my way to games and practices and that sort of thing. So it's always been like a big part of my childhood. And so when I started playing guitar and I wrote my first song, I feel like that's when everything clicked for me. I was like, oh yes, like this is what I enjoy the most. And I definitely want to keep doing this, but I'm so scared like to sing in front of people. Like I have to take the leap of faith here. And I loved songwriting so much that I just really had to I just had to do it. And so I played my first song in front of my parents, and it went a lot better than I thought it would have. So
Oh,
yeah.
whenever I played music in front of my parents, it never went well.
Oh.
No, I know everyone go, oh. But yeah, but it's because they weren't interested in music. But I was kind of motivated by that. It was kind of like, you don't like it, I'm gonna do even more of it. I'm gonna try even harder to make you really not like it. So that was kind of a
Go
motivation.
wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice though that your parents supported you and still supporting you in all of this as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They've
Have you
always
had to
been.
have that awkward conversation about actually, mum and dad, I might not go and work in a bank?
I feel like they got the hint like pretty early on. Like I think they've always known that I've been more of a creative, and I just never really liked school except for like the creative classes that I would do. And so I feel like I knew very early on like that this is what I wanted to do. And um I'm so grateful that I have parents that have always been so like encouraging for me to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. I mean, like even if I wanted to go to school and pursue like a more traditional job, like they would have been really supportive with that as
Mm.
well. And so it's just really nice to grow up around people who um, believed in me and kept encouraging me even when I didn't really like believe in myself, because like I've had so many moments where I've doubted myself. Um and so my parents really helped me like stay strong like in myself
That's
and just
beautiful. I mean, I'm going to talk to you about that self-doubt and your voice in a minute, but I think that's tremendous that you've got that support from your parents. Something I've never asked, because I've had quite a number of young artists on here, and I've never asked anyone yet, but I thought you made me think about it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to ask it, which is so the parents are happy with the music side of things or whatever, but is there ever a time when they look at, because you have to do it these days, is put yourself out there all the time on social media? Is there anything about that they ever look at and go, well, do you have to, Carolyn? Do you have to be out there on social media doing this or that? Or, are they protective at all in that, or do they get it? Do they understand it?
I think for the most part they get it. And I feel like, I mean, because I started posting like my original music online when I was like 13 or 14. So I was really
Which is
young.
young to be online, isn't it?
Yeah,
If you
it's
know what I
very
mean.
young
Yeah.
to be online. So I was like my parents were really supportive and like, getting my music out there. They were also really protective, and they're like they kind of, monitored my comments and, kind of cut out anybody who was being like weird or creepy or anything like that. And so they were really protective with that. But I feel like my music just kind of naturally catered to girls like my age anyway. So I fortunately didn't really have to deal with a lot of like creeps online, because I know that's how it is for like a lot of like younger women, is that there's a lot of older creeps kind of stalking your pages and commenting on your stuff and commenting weird things. And fortunately, I did not get a whole lot of that, just because I kind of started out posting on YouTube. And so I kind of catered to a lot of the YouTube trends that like other young girls were being a part of. So I feel like my videos kind of just naturally came to them. So I'm really, really fortunate about that, because I know it can get scary.
It can. And look, even old buffers like me get the weird people, right?
Yeah.
It's just like,
I'm sure you've got like stalkers probably.
yeah, go away. You know, what's the matter with you? No, I don't want to see your bottom. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
want to send you pictures of my feet.
No, exactly. Right. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But it's worrying. And especially, I'm a parent to 5 children, and my daughter's 9 now, and she wants to be a pop star. She's going to have to develop her voice a bit. But that, you can see her dreams going in that kind of direction. She's definitely going to do arty or something arty and creative and whatever. And you just think, yeah, just be careful online, because it's, we all can see it. There's lots of lovely people online.
Yeah.
Hello to all of the lovely people, and all of the weirdy people. Go away, because we don't like you very much. But yeah, no, now listen, your voice, because you've got that. You can tell in a way that you were kind of, you've got a quiet element to your voice, but then you can ramp it up. Now, do you know whose voice that kind of reminds me of? Do you know who I'm going to say?
Billie Eilish, maybe?
No, I'm going to say Phoebe Bridgers.
Wow, I love Phoebe so much.
I'm going to say Phoebe. I think you've got that kind of Phoebe Bridgers type vibe going on there.
That means a lot.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Is she with the stuff that she's putting out there at the moment and all the Boy Genius stuff and whatever? Is that quite inspirational to you?
I think currently, yes, there's definitely like, I'm happy to see kind of like softer voices being put out there more. And because I feel like growing up, I knew I always had like a softer voice anyway, and I was never really like a belter by any means. But
belters had the market for a while, didn't they?
They
there
did,
was like
yes.
the big voice, etc. Right?
Yeah, and I felt like because I just couldn't really do that, or that just wasn't really, what my voice was like the strongest in. Like I kind of took that as a thing that was like wrong with me.
Yeah, right.
And I remember kind of just like being frustrated with myself. Well, like, why can't I do that really like smoothly? Like, why can't I just do that really easily? It seems like other singers can do that really easily. Like, why can't I? Like, I felt like every time I would try to belt, like I felt like I was straining, and it just didn't sound as good as I wanted it to. Yeah. And I took vocal lessons like for a couple years too, kind of around the time when I was like 13, 14. Because I also noticed like when I would try to belt, like my voice would crack a lot. And I like saw a vocal teacher, and I feel like the vocal lessons kind of helped me find my voice. And the more that I wrote songs too, I feel like I kind of got into my own like artistic groove, and discovered what my wheelhouse was as a singer. And I think my vocal teachers that I worked with kind of encouraged me that like my voice, there's a wheelhouse for my own voice. And I feel like they had a big part in helping me find it as well. So
yeah. Well, how would you describe your music at the moment? Because I mean, you're in Nashville.
Yes.
There's a tinge of country in there, but I mean, I say at the moment because you know, like all artists, you'll evolve, and how you are today won't necessarily be how you are tomorrow. So where do you see yourself at the moment, and where are you sort of in your mind maybe heading towards?
Yes, I feel like my own genre right now, I mean, the lines are so blurred nowadays. I do definitely feel like I fit more into the pop market now. I like whenever somebody asks me like what kind of music do you do? I try to get a little bit more
Mine.
specific than pop because it's like I wouldn't say I'm like dance pop. I wouldn't say I'm like you know. So I kind of say that I'm like songwriter pop,
Yeah.
which or like maybe acoustic based pop.
You're going back to Ed Sheeran again.
Yeah, you know, why not? So I think I've known that I've wanted to like go more into the pop direction, but it's just like a matter of like where do I fit into the pop world because there's so many different sides of it. And so I've really experimented like with writing different kinds of pop music as well. Like I've got a couple more like pop rock sounding songs on my Spotify and everything as well. And so that's something that's like different as well. And then my most recent release is more like acoustic sounding and has those acoustic elements. And I'm with everything that I'm releasing, I'm kind of thinking like, oh, well, I really like this about this production. This feels more authentic to me. So I feel like the more that I write and the more that I work with like producers and stuff, like the more I find myself.
That's cool. And now listen, is there something that Carolyn Dare listens to that people who listen to Carolyn Dare would go, well, does she? That they wouldn't expect you to listen to, but you listen to it because you love it?
Ooh, oh, sorry. Did I lose you?
No?
Okay. Sorry. I just pulled up my Spotify. Let me see. I feel like I listen to like a little bit of everything. I listen to a lot of like indie pop music, which I feel like isn't surprising at all. Um, I do have a playlist that's called I'm Feeling Like a Baddie. And
Love it.
it's got like Nicki Minaj, like Doja Cat, like all these like Megan Thee Stallion, like
Oh, really?
all
Really?
kinds of stuff. And I will literally listen to it
Right.
before I have like a show or something just to kind of get the empowering vibes up. So yeah, I will listen to some stuff like that.
So if you had a big show somewhere with the, you know, the big speakers and everything else and the, you know, all the lights and whatever, that would be your soundtrack before you come on.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It really does make a difference. I like
Yeah.
I've done it a couple times. Like if I'm driving like on my way to a gig or something, I will put on that playlist in the car and I'll just listen to it in the car and
I really love it as well when you get artists that they do that, where when you go and see them live, you know, the soundtrack that they have on before they come on has got nothing. You wouldn't think it's anything like their music.
yeah.
And it's quite cool, you know, because why would you want to play like something that in a way sounds a little bit like you for an hour and whatever before you come on?
Yeah, I think if I were to have like some music playing beforehand, I would do kind of like more upbeat songs because I love how that feels like before show because it's like if you're in the audience and you're like waiting, you're
And
anticipating
it
it.
gets bigger
You
and
get
bigger
like
and bigger.
you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm so ready for it. So I would probably play like some One Direction or something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Goodness me. There you go. Light up your world like nobody else, and then you appear
Yeah.
from like a column in the middle, etc. What about sounds? Do you love experimenting with sounds? Are you, you know, do you find yourself always coming back down predominantly to sort of guitar and things, or you know, outside of what we've heard from you, do you sometimes just sit there and go and like go, oh, do you know what, that's pretty cool? Are there things in your vault, in other words, that we may not hear, but actually you quite like enjoy the process of playing around?
Yes. So for the longest time, I have always like written by myself, and it's always just been me and my guitar. And I pretty much only wrote by myself, like up until last year, just about. And I started to really venture out and like meet a lot of new people, because the pop scene in Nashville is very small.
It's one bar.
It's very small. It is the biggest that it's ever been, but it's still like super tiny, and you know, everybody like knows each other and that sort of thing. So I ended up getting like really well connected in the pop scene, and I just started booking more co-writing sessions, and I started to work with different producers that were in the room, because for the past like 4 years I was only working with one producer, and when we would write together, it would just be me and him. And so this was definitely like out of my comfort zone. It was something new. And so I think definitely working with new producers and a bunch of different producers, they just spark up so many different sounds that like inspire me so much that I probably wouldn't have come up with just on guitar. So I mean, I love synths, and I love Mellotron. I love yeah, it's just really unique sounds that you don't hear every day. I feel like those just really spark something, because I feel like a goal of mine as a songwriter is like, just what can I do that nobody else has done? Like, what can I do that can set me apart? And so even like having different sounds and just creative production can really do that. So
that's good. So you're prepared to expand your mind. I'm going to play a little game with you now, just for a second. Never done this on this show before, but you know, just trying to keep it fresh.
I'm down.
So yeah, absolutely. So I've got a number of CDs on my desk, just random stuff that I've been listening to today. You've got to pick one. All right.
Okay.
We'll see where you go with this. Okay. So because you know, I said that you were a little bit going that way. So there's the first one. That's obviously Punisher by a certain person. Or you can have Alison Goldfrapp. Right? Do you love that colour? The colour's nice.
It's really pretty. I love it.
Isn't that really pretty? Or you can go for Georgia, Seeking Thrills. So which are you going for?
Ooh. Do you mean like visually or like musically?
No, yeah. Which is intriguing you today?
I think the one in the middle.
The one in the middle
looks really
such a great aesthetic, isn't it?
Yeah. I like can't stop looking at it.
I know. There you go. Look at the inside.
Oh, dang.
Isn't that amazing? There you go. So you can you can go and try out Alison Goldfrapp, The Love Invention afterwards.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
That's very dancey, very dancey.
Okay.
So you might be there. If other people at home watching, I don't know which one you picked, but you can let us know if you want to. Tell us which one you picked. I've had loads of people probably go for Phoebe, but you know, that's just the obvious choice.
Yeah, we just love. That's such a good album too. So
It is such a good album. Yeah, favorite song on the album?
I love "I See You" so much, and I just saw her open for Taylor like last week or 2 weeks ago.
You posted photos of you there, didn't you? Just to make everyone jealous, right? I was looking and going, oh my goodness, I'm so jealous.
Just to rub it in. No, and she didn't play ICU, and like the whole time I was like, please
play this.
But it's okay. She did great.
What's your what's your real ambition for you and your music?
Well, I think I'm such a big mental health advocate, and
Right.
writing has always been a big coping mechanism for me and has gotten me through so many of my own internal struggles that I think one of my ultimate goals for my music is to help heal other people who might be going through something similar and just help other people not feel so alone in what they're going through, because I know how it feels to feel literally so alone when you're struggling, and that is, like, one of the worst feelings in the world. And so I really want my music to almost feel like a hug. And,
Don't
uh,
laugh. It's not fun. No, it's not funny.
just be like a source of support
Yeah.
for other people who are struggling as well. I think that honestly, like, holds the most meaning to me when it comes to music, and that's what I always come back to, um, when I think about, like, why am I doing this? Or, like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, I always go back to that because I feel like my most vulnerable songs have connected to the most people, and so it's just, like, being proved to me, like, time and time again that, like, being vulnerable and opening up makes such a huge difference. So that's definitely what keeps me going, and I think that's such a core, like, value and goal that I have for my music.
Do you think it's a different time that we're living in now in terms of our musicians? I mean, I've talked a little bit about this several times lately on this show, but we are seeing some of our bigger musicians, younger musicians, opening up about their mental health and being raw and honest, etc. Whereas, in the past, like, musicians were kind of put on a pedestal a little bit,
Yeah.
and had to. I mean, in a way, what's worse, because they kind of had to keep quiet about all of those things.
Yeah.
Celebrity was like something where you had to kind of live that celebrity,
Yeah.
But with the likes of Ed Sheeran's documentary and Lewis Capaldi's documentary, and all of these great insights into what's actually happening with people. I mean, do you feel we're living in a better time because of that?
I would say so, yes, because I mean, there are just so many horror stories and just really awful ways that famous musicians have ended up, and I mean, like, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, it's like, if if they were more open about their struggles and they actually got the help that they needed, and, like, maybe they would end up in a better place, or had a better outcome. And so, like, I've just watched a lot of documentaries about things like that, and it's just so obvious to see, like, how much that people like that were struggling. And I think it is a really good thing that a lot of artists and musicians are opening up now about their struggles, because, like, being a star in, like, the music industry, it is not glamorous by any means, and a lot of people like to think that it is, but this is such a hard industry, and having all that pressure on you, like, ooh, like, it is so easy to start to develop, like, mental struggles, even if you already have struggled with depression and anxiety, like, even before you started to, like, gain all this success, like, um, just the pressures of it all. I can see how so many successful musicians have just gone downhill, and, like, I know, like, pretty much every single musician that I know struggles with a mental illness. Like, I'm around musicians all the time, and everybody's struggling with something, and it really does help to, like, not feel so alone knowing that, like, everybody's kind of in the same boat. It's kinda sad too, because it's like you want to see, creatives be proud of their work and enjoy their time and their successes, being in this industry. But it's so common for creatives to not enjoy what they're doing and to be so hard on themselves and to really struggle with depression. I feel like some of that like comes with the territory. And so I think it's really good that there's a lot of awareness going around so that, nobody like thinks that, whoever's like super successful is just, getting by really easily. I think everybody definitely has their own struggles. And so you don't know that really if they don't.
Oh no, absolutely. And the other thing is, people think that all musicians make loads of money.
No, definitely not.
Right. Only a very, very small percentage of musicians make a lot of money. A lot of them out there aren't making any money at all.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
get that right. Listen, before I completely lose my voice for the day, which is going to happen, and I'm going to end up spending the rest of the weekend trying to get it back again, with the help of Dr. Lemsip. It's been a pleasure having you on today.
Yes.
Tell people before you go a little bit about where they can get your music and what they should be listening to right this minute.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. I have music out everywhere on every streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you buy or stream your music. And I also have some CDs on my website. And the CD has one unreleased track. So if you want to if you want to be able to hear an unreleased song before it comes out, because I actually don't know when it's going to be put out. So you'll have some time to listen to it before it comes out.
I love that concept, by the way, that you've just hailed something back and just put it out on the physical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because for the longest time I was like, do people even listen to CDs anymore? But it turns out that they still do, and I think that's really great, because if you just have streaming, then
listen to CDs.
Yeah. See, prime example.
There you go.
But
there's 6,500 of them in the cupboard behind me.
Yeah.
6,500 CDs. I could probably build a bridge from where you are now to here in Somerset with CDs.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And it's just so nice to have something tangible, because if you just have streaming, you don't really have anything to like hold on to. And I think that's one of my favorite things about music. Like when I was like growing up, is that I would always get the CD and be able to hold it like in the car and like, just look at it right in front of me. And so I brought the CDs back on my website with a lot of the newer stuff that I've released and have been working on. So I've got that, and I'm everywhere on social media. If you search me, Caroline Dare, you should be able to find me.
You'll definitely find you. And what a lovely person you are.
Oh,
Caroline, it has been an absolute pleasure. I'm sorry I'm a little bit ill.
no,
next time when you come back, I will be full of beans, absolutely raring to go, and have a complete voice. And we might even sing together. How about that?
You will do a duet next time.
Yeah, we will do. Yeah, that's fine. I'll get my guitar out as well, and we'll do a duet. I promise that.
Yes.
We may even do a One Direction song.
Let's do it. We'll get Harry on board too.
We'll get Harry. I'm gonna see Harry sing.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's being supported by Wet Leg.
Oh yeah.
Do you follow them?
I do. I saw them play at Lollapalooza in Chicago last summer, and I really like them. So
they've kind of perfected that kind of talk singing thing, really well. Sure. It's very, very cool. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on today. Please, everybody, go and check out Caroline Dare's music. Spend a lot of money. Buy the CDs, download the music, and pay money for it. If she ever produces merch, buy all of it, wear it. Because quite frankly, it's she needs the money, and her cat is going to starve to death if you don't do it. So I'm not trying to bribe you into it or make you feel bad, but do feel bad if you haven't. spent any money on Carolyn's music, you must, think about that, and in all good consciousness, you can't really go into the weekend thinking about, what's the cat's name?
Bear.
Bear starving, like that. Okay. So
oh no.
please do.
Buy the CD, please.
We should have do you know what we should do is we should have the telephone number to donate going at the bottom now. That would be absolutely perfect, wouldn't it? It would be like here we are, it'd be like donate to Bear.
You're actually doing it.
Yeah, it's like there you go. Donate to Bear. Oh, why is it not doing it? Here we are. Sure. Donate to Bear. Oh, because otherwise, who knows?
That's so funny.
You too can save a cat.
Just 5 cents a day.
Just 5 cents a day will keep the doctor away. Honestly, I hope I've made you laugh a little bit as well. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing this. This will be going around. Share it with your friends. If you've liked it, do comment on it. Share it, because Carolyn's going to be famous one day, and you'll go, wow, I got on it early. I'm never going to be famous, so don't even try and make me one. But enjoy. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week with more my music, as long as my voice holds up. Okay, bye for now.
Press.